Today we'd like to talk to Dr. Lightman about independence. Independence is a concept that brings connotations like freedom, security, independence. These are the topics that we'd like to shed some new light on today. Nitsa, please. Yeah, the Day of Independence is a national holiday here in Israel. We all gather, celebrate this holiday happily. We recall the very exciting occasion that took place on the Hay of Iyar, the 14th of May, 1948, the declaration of the State of Israel, when the United Nations have decided to allow the people of Israel, after so many years of exile, prosecution, wars, destructions, all the things that this people went through, the possibility to once again come back to the land of Israel and set their national home here. And on the one hand, I'm looking at what happened back then, and I'm also looking at what's going on today in our country, here and now. And it raises many questions because even looking at the concept called independence, looking it up in the dictionary, what is independence? It means sovereignty, not being dependent on someone or something, security. And I'm really asking myself, are we living independently here on the land of Israel right now? Because when I look at myself, I don't see that I'm independent. I see that our society depends on many factors. We depend on the neighbors around us and whether America will give us or won't give us aid, and so many threats, external and internal. And the last thing that I feel today in this country is independent, safe, and free. And this brought up a question that I'm sure that I'm not the only one asking it, that would like to discuss with you. What is real independence? I'd say that real independence does not exist. Are the parents independent of their children? No. Neither are the children independent of their parents. Meaning, to be a grown-up, it doesn't mean that you're independent. To be a child also doesn't mean that you're independent. To be alive altogether means that you're not independent because you're in some framework of nature. You have no idea what's going to happen tomorrow, in a moment. So what does independent mean? What does sovereignty mean? Independence. Independent of what? Only a person that doesn't really understand, he says, I'm free, and in a moment he's already needy of something. Where are the borders? How do we determine what independence means? That this word itself is aiming us at a state of the lack of independence, the inability to keep it, unless we're like God. I don't know if there's such a thing, that I can imagine that He is almighty, everything is under His control, in His hands, and so on. Then the concept of God, He might be independent. And also if He has love for His creatures, then He's no longer independent, but He has to constantly care for them. So if I have love towards someone, I'm no longer independent. Of course not. Love, it ties you, it determines everything. Of course. The concept of independence does not exist in our nature at all, and in general in nature it doesn't exist. Because nature altogether consists of at least two parts that are developing in the relations between them, like plus and minus and atoms, suppose. And that's how it is with everything. Meaning one single thing does not exist. It has no right to exist. There are some thoughts that it's bosons and things like that, but these are things that we only speak about theoretically. And there too, it's unknown. There is no such thing as one thing. If we're talking about creation, then it's always something compared to something else. It's the creator and the creature. It's light and darkness. It's electron and positron, plus and minus. north and south and a magnet and so on. There is no one without the other. And therefore, to begin with, there is no such philosophical concept and scientific definition called independent, unless, to begin with, we define it in a way that from here to here, you're independent. That's it. That's something else. And here we're already building our rules, our laws. What am I independent to do at home and what am I not independent to do at home because I have an apartment and a condominium and then I depend on others. How am I independent in a country and where am I not? Meaning it all has borders. You said the Americans, they help Israel, this, that. They're maybe less independent than all of those smaller countries that are weaker than them. America? Yes. Why? Because they have to care for their control, for the order that they want. So they have to constantly be. We see the concerns and the struggles. It's not called independence. Independence means that maybe I do what I feel like, meaning that I take no one into consideration. And if I do take someone into consideration, then I'm dependent on him. I also didn't want to move on to higher levels, so in terms of science itself and the whole matter of what independence is.